Dear friends, have you ever felt that sensations of getting drugged up? If you haven't, you must try not to do it because it will not give you anything good. And if you did get drugged up once and you think you may get addicted, try to get away from it.
A drug is a substance other than food which when inhaled, injected, smoked, consumed or dissolved under a tongue causes a physiological change in the body. So people must get aware of all the risks that taking drugs can affect them.
We must have heard 1,000 times that the most memorable part in one's life is when they're students. We must consider ourselves fortunate that we are now passing through the student's life. Powered by immense enthusiasm and energy, the students became sensitive and courageous.
This is the reason why students are always the epicenters of all type of hyperactivities around the world, whether it is political, personal, intellectual or social. Unfortunately, this is also the time where they can be prisoners of highly addictive and destructive habits like drinking, smoking and drug intake.
Misuse of substances like alcohols and drugs are a growing problem, and teens and young adults have been most at risk, with half of all new drug abusers being under the age of 18, and 1 out of 5 high school students having abused prescription drugs. And currently, 1/3 of high school students use alcohols, 23% use marijuana, and 22% use all other forms of tobacco combined. Decision making in teens involve a chemical called dopamine in the brain's reward center. And this dopamine helps to transmit signals that make people feel happy.
The number of brain receptors interacting with the dopamine is higher in adolescence than at any other time of life. That means when a teen is exposed to a reward such as a compliment, the reward center reacts more strongly than it would for an adult. Also, being with friends increases the sensitivity to reward and makes the already sensitive reward system even more sensitive.
Feeling rewards more strongly and responding more intensely to what peers may think means that there are biological reasons for why teens sometimes decide to do things with their friends that they would never do on their own. This can be positive by encouraging friends to take on new challenges, and this can also lead to dangerous decisions such as drug and alcohol use.
Drug use and abuse can cause long and short-term effects. In fact, it can cause long-term effects on an developing teenage brain. The MRI scan have shown that the people who have been using drugs for a long time can have a smaller prefrontal cortex than people who doesn't use it. The prefrontal cortex is the area where the decision making occurs.
Drug use can result in poor grades, memory loss and social problems. A lot of us have an idea about what a person dependent on drugs look like. Anyone can suffer from this type of addiction.
All these habits are mentioned as the last destroyer of life. Drugs are eligible for a special mention because it is the most addictive among all and even affects society in many ways. Like all other habits, the use of drugs starts with a very brave mentality and the potential trend of youth to wreak the unknown terrain.
Occasionally, there is a catalyst for circles of friends and other social causes. Unfortunately, most of these innocents, once hungry, are soon trapped in the vicious cycle of drug addiction. It's just a matter of time and intends to make a dozen drugs completely dependent on them.
The effects of drugs are many. It completely snatches someone's personality and inflicts many more social and health problems, such as financial crisis, accidents due to driving under its influence, lack of sleep, excessive stress, increase in crime rates, violence, etc. It also leads to abnormal vision,
Theft, other social crimes, child abuse, etc. Drug addiction can lead a person to depression, distract their focus from studies or work. Often, drug addicts move more and more into criminal activities. Suicidal tendencies also develop in them. It is estimated that a drug addict cannot stay longer than 15 to 20 years after their first contact with drugs.
The use of illicit drugs is directly and indirectly responsible for over 750,000 deaths per year. It also increases the risk of particular diseases and injuries. Hence, illicit drug is responsible for 585,000 premature deaths. It is also estimated that over 1,66,000 people die from drug overdoses each year.
More than half of those who die from drug overdoses are younger than 50 years old. Opioids are responsible for the largest number of overdoses from illicit drugs. It is estimated that around 1% of the world has had drug use disorder.
It is a fact that drug addiction is destroying the roots of an individual as well as the nation's development. So there is a need to adopt several measures to control this destructive habit. Creating proper awareness at national level is the most important step.
Addiction doesn't depend on income, job, color or race. It is a disease of brain that can happen to anyone. And drug dependency is when a person consumes alcohol or drug despite the fact that it can affect their family and relationship. Get help if you need it and encourage your friends to get help too.
And as the saying goes, prevention is always better than cure. Drug abuse prevention starts with education, spreading the words about dangers of drugs to oneself and to the community. Let us all be part of this insight and strive for a drug-free, healthy future. Thank you.